Welcome to France for Tier 2. I'm joining the booth tonight with Pure Blades. Normally the normal commentator of Thomas, he could not be with us tonight, so I am filling in. So sorry for the not so great commentary from me, but I will have Pure Blades joining me tonight. How are you doing tonight? Yeah.
There we go.
We're with us now, I hope.
I am with you, indeed.
I'll let you
That was embarrassing.
keep an eye on the stream. I'm going to close mine off the computer just so I don't have any interruptions.
I've got the chat up.
Perfect.
So we have two spell out on a, I believe he's the first man out. Coming down the back straight. And followed by Perry.
Arbar's almost in the beginning of Sector 3. Dan is right there behind him. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect out of the wet. I don't know how many guys actually have spent time practicing the wet this week, so hopefully we can get a verification as to what the race is going to be. We might be able to tell by their straight line speed what they're doing for setups, because if they're just hitting 200 miles an hour, or was it 320k? Actually, speaking of that, I need to change that for everybody else's viewing pleasure, because I'm an American and I do things backwards.
Oh, it is going to be interesting to see, Mitch, what the strategies are going to be for qualifying. So you can qualify with your dry setup on, and obviously lose downforce for the quali runs in the wet, but have the advantage in the race. Or with the big back straight here, it could be a major disadvantage to be using your wet setup in the race.
Yeah, I can't imagine if it's a dry race, they're not going to be throwing on a wet setup for qualifying just to get yourself up there. I would imagine if it is going to be a wet race, these guys will be on a full wet setup, depending. Take a look at what Arbar's straight line speed is. To me it seems like he might be running like a dry, maybe even a hybrid. We'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, obviously a hybrid setup can let you reap the benefits of qualifying, but could still have some major disadvantages in the race, so we shall see how this qualifying session is going to play out.
Arbar and then the Ferrari of X427 will be the next one to set their first flying lap, so this should give us kind of an idea as to what they are doing.
I believe Dan may peel into the pits, because I think he's invalidated his lap. Two spells out.
Has lost
I'm not
it
quite sure
somewhere.
where that is. Let's see if we can see. And Sergey as well, so...
Dan goes 1.4 off of Arbar, who sets the fastest lap at a 147. Those two are the only two to put a lap in. It's interesting. I hope we can get kind of some type of confirmation, or just make it kind of a surprise as to what the race is going to be. I'm on board right now with Perry the dog, Tier 3 champion from last season.
Very worthy champion as well.
Oh yes, great driver. Not feeling the pace in the drive, but there he goes, 145.8. He goes 1.3 quicker than Arbar. I was actually practicing with him earlier, and he just felt like he might have a better chance in the wet. There you go. He goes 1.3 quicker to take pole early on. Verimir sets a lap. He's 2.3 off. Let me fix these so we can see the laps. And Robo goes third quickest. Yeah, these times got me thinking it might be a dry race. I could be wrong, but just my hunch.
Very quick time for a wet setup from Perry, so I do agree with you that it is a dry race. But
The one of the newest drivers of the tier, we moved him down to tier 2. His pace just wasn't quite there for tier 1. But I think he'll fit right in. He is a new driver from the Americas. He must have invalidated. Nope, he does a 148.8.
so
Trying to kind of fit in. Yeah,
I've got confirmation that it is a dry race from
Okay.
Titchy in the chat.
Well, that
So
answers that question. And
Lewis is out.
that's
I
interesting.
wonder where that is, because I've been told Two Spell and Sergey went off at the same corner. So could this be just a case of
I just wonder which corner it would have been. Thinking maybe turn 5 to turn 6, the rear end kind of gets a little upset if you get on the power a little too hard, and it will spin you into a wall if you're.
Lewis into the same wall as Sergey and Two Spell, so they're not very lethal walls around the circuit. Paul Ricard claiming quite a few casualties early in this qualifying session.
About the only time you're really going to hit a wall is in the wet, because it just
In
flings
the
the
wet.
car. Yeah, it's just going to fling the car off the track. We do now have a couple guys going out on the intermediate tires, so we have Perry, Arbar, and Don Ammo have all stuck the intermediate on. Arbar's out on track, so curious as to see. Obviously, it does look like the dry line is forming.
Joined now by Dan Robbo and Varamir. So, be interested to see if these drivers will favour the intermediate tyre as this dry line starts to form.
Arbar is the first track on the intermediate. Go on board with him as once he starts his lap. Yeah, I mean, for Perry, this is a great advantage. I mean, he said he didn't have the best pace in the dry, so if he's got this kind of pace in the wet, at least he's going to be able to qualify himself up near the front of the grid. Now, didn't you guys have some rain in your guys' qualifying, or was that at the end and it really didn't make any difference?
Right at the end, we had some rain, and it allowed the McLaren of Rosa to get on pole. So,
as Arbar is now going to start his flying lap on the intermediate tire, let's go on board with him. Perry should be the next one to cross the line and start his first lap on the intermediate, so we should be able to tell the difference pace-wise. Anybody in the chat just tell me audio mix? Are you hearing the engines alright compared to me and Pier? I'm just interested to see. I mean, and this opens up the strategy completely for the race. I would assume most guys will just go on the preferred strategy, which will end up being the medium to the hard. But I wonder if there'll be any guys that try to do the reverse and go hard to medium, try to give themselves an advantage at the end of the race. I can't imagine a whole lot of guys will throw the soft tire on, but I could totally be wrong, and they could prove me wrong here. So I just know that they don't last very long. But without running any laps on them, you might be able to get 7-8 laps out of them. But even still, I just don't think that's the quickest way around this track.
The free choice of strategy really does open up this race, because as Arbar sets the fastest lap with almost a 1:44 dead. It really does open up the strategy for the race, because normally you get preferential strategy starting from 11th back, but in the wet qualified session, you just never know what's going to happen. Perry exactly 5/10 quicker than Arbar on his hot lap.
Yeah, it's one of those things right now. I mean, this is going to open up the whole race. You can do whatever you want strategy-wise, and it also kind of closes the strategy gap as well, because of this, you're not going to see that many guys throwing. I can't imagine you'll see that many guys throwing the soft tire on.
No, taking the medium tire longer into the race and then switching onto the hards is preferential. We saw Cygate yesterday start on the mediums and stretch them long enough to switch to softs at the end, but that will take some doing to be able to keep those mediums in a decent enough condition as Dan Robbo gets onto provisional pole with 5 minutes left.
And there goes 427.
By X427.
One of the quickest guys in the wet. He's probably helped me the most when it comes to wet running with our times as teammates, and he goes out and he bangs in a lap. And then Jacob goes quicker by 0.2. Yeah, so this qualifying is going to heat up. I would imagine they'll probably all come in, throw us another set of tires on, and try it again.
We'll get back out. Obviously, at the end of the session, the track is going to be at its driest. The tyres can displace a lot of water. Interestingly, Arbar is blocked in the pit lane by, I believe it was an Alpha leaving. No.
Should be alright when it comes to time-wise, unless we've got some crazy time glitch and they're way less than what we have.
Yeah, as that happened towards the start of the season. Or towards the end of last season. Excuse me.
Looking now, off of last week's, obviously we only have the one race to go off of for championship, but just to go over it, Sergey did win last week in the first race at Australia, followed by Jacob, who started at the back of the grid. He got helped out by a couple of virtual safety cars, and he was able to do a reverse strategy and finish P2. And then Sergey's teammate, Perry the dog, has and as I catch Ross cutting the track, that is not allowed, so that will end up in a grid penalty coming to him in the next race at Italy.
Did he jump the chicane?
Yeah,
to try and get back to the pits,
Yeah, he drove through the straight. But yeah, so
Jacob,
the Toro Rosso,
I didn't even notice. Jacob with the fastest lap.
Yeah, he went quicker by 0.2 after that little, where they were all banging in quick laps. So he ended up being the last one across the line and the quickest across the line. So it just tells me the track's drying out that much more.
Interesting. Matty tried to go for another lap on his inters. The Haas cars locking out the second row at the minute. That's an impressive qualifying performance if they can keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure as of right now, Matt has decided to just do another lap on this set of intermediates. He won't have enough time to do another one, get back out there, so Well,
I'm
he'll be the first
thinking,
cross on his last run, and he won't get a second. He might get another one. I don't know how much fuel he has left in the car.
I'm thinking Matty and Dan might be talking here, because if Matty can slow the car down, he might be in perfect position to give Dan a tow down that long back straight.
Kind of looking. They are quite a bit off, but
Yeah.
Matt's time is 1.9 off, so I would imagine, yeah, he's running no ERS, so he is, I'm pretty sure his qualifying is going to be over.
It should be.
Byramir's lost it on his flying lap. Let's see, into the wall. It will most likely be his qualifying over.
Yeah, there's no way he can make it back out now.
And I don't know if he took any damage or not. He did hit the wall sideways.
Yeah,
Might be
his
good.
left end plate is off. So
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely got damage. So that's his qualifying over. Jump on board with the Renault of Don Ammo, who's again one of those drivers that I spoke to before the race. That he just felt like if the race was wet, he'd have a better chance. Well, he's got a chance to qualify well. Kind of put himself up there and try to fight the beginning of this race. I mean, if you could survive the first stint, I feel like you can definitely have a pretty decent race here. It's just getting through the first couple corners when everything's hectic on lap 1.
turn 1 is very
Traffic
difficult
jam.
here.
Traffic jam. There's just not a whole lot of room, and
track sort of narrows going into the first corner, and it's very hard to go 3 wide through there. So, as interestingly, Jacob lets Dan through to get out
the line.
first.
Don Ammo goes P1 with a 142.2. So that track is definitely drying out. It's just a matter. He's the last one, or his time's over. So he's the first one to cross the line to end this session. Now it's just going to be a matter of how much time can the rest of these guys pick up to beat him as the track dries out.
Excuse me, Mitch. I believe Contest of Speed has just gained its first subscriber on Twitch.
Well, we appreciate
KV,
that.
thank you for the sub.
Thank you,
My
KV.
guy.
Had a brilliant race yesterday in the Tier 3.
Oh, Jacob's out.
Jacob has retired on track. Very interesting.
Retired from a good position as well. Behind Dan on his qualifying lap. I'm not sure if he hit the wall. I assume he did.
Oh, I was on board with Jacob, and he just retired. So, again, it's not something that we allow. So we'll see what.
That'll be penalty points.
Yep. Dan's on an outlap, so I'm not quite sure what that's about. I will jump on board here with Perry.
He's not on an outlap. I'll keep with Dan. Dan Robbo moves up to second, and now Perry goes.
Perry goes to
pole.
427 comes to the line. So he puts himself.
Last man out. P4?
P4, somewhere in there. So he'll be happy with that. P5. He'll be happy with that. Great qualifying as the track just got quicker towards the end. And Perry takes full advantage of that and puts himself P1. So we have Perry the dog sitting P1, Don Ammo P2, Dan Robo and his Haas P3, Arbar 4th, Dan is 5th, Jacob 6th, Dan's teammate in the other Ferrari, Dress Sebastian, is P7. Matt has qualified P8, Fallen 9th, and the new Alpha of DTN P10. We got Crowan P11, Robbins P12, Verimir with a very shocking qualifying, just couldn't get it done, P13, Ross 14th, and then we have two spells, Sergey and somebody else retired, I can't remember.
Lewis.
Third person.
It was Lewis in his Mercedes.
Lewis, how can I forget about Lewis? I'm sorry, Lewis, I didn't do it on purpose, I swear.
Now, who's going to be naughty?
I can't imagine. These guys all right now are going through their strategies. They don't want to be the first one to press X. Um, Definitely an overcast race from what I can tell. Be interesting to see if they get any rain, but like I think you told me that Tichy said it's all dry, so
Tichy has said it's all dry, and I assume the information's come from Two Spell.
oh yeah, probably,
So
most likely.
some more info from Tichy. He says Two Spell has gone for some vodka and ice cream, so pray for Two Spell. And it's Ross. We'll be getting a penalty point for pressing the button. Roger says 2 retirements coming on lap 1, and I'd like to get your podium prediction.
My
for this
podium,
race.
Jacob, P1. I'll put so hard because of the way the qualifying landed. It's completely different now. I'll put. I still think
Perry
Jacob's pace
laying
is quick
down
enough,
the
but
rubber.
Perry's going to be very quick. Don Ammo will be quick. It's just a matter of what they've done strategy-wise. Let me pop the tires up here. I would assume everybody's gone for the medium tire. Really...
Interestingly, Dan Robbo on the hard, as well as Dan,
going...
X427 in the top 10, so they're going long and then switching back to soft.
And Don Ammo's gone with
Which...
the soft tire. This is going to be a cracking start of the race. So you got 2 guys on the hard tires, 1 on the soft. Matt also in P8 has gone to the hard tires. As long as they get through the first few laps with no damage or anything like that, it will be slower than the medium to hard. But as long as you stay in a DRS train, keep yourself close, it will give you an advantage at the end of the race. And it gives you the option. You want to go long, you can go to the soft tire. I don't think that's the fastest way, as the hard tire, even though it doesn't really wear off too much, I don't think it's the quickest way around this track. I still think doing a hard to medium would be still quicker.
It just depends on how long these guys can push that hard tire, and even the medium tire, as we saw Sygate do last night. So
yeah,
if these guys can push the hards into lap 20, lap 21, and swap into the soft to the end, maybe dash for the fastest lap, that might be what we will see tonight.
And the hard part for these guys on the hard tires is going to be warming them up at the beginning of this race, especially with the overcast skies. This formation lap, it's going to feel like they're just not getting any heat into them. So
And I believe the AI is now taken over, so that's it. No more chances.
The AI, and that's one thing I did notice with this game, the AI take over way sooner than it did in 2018. I would expect Don Ammo to probably get the jump off Perry Hare at the beginning because he is on the softer compound, but we'll take, if I get a better camera angle, there we go. As we wait for the lights.
Lewis just approaching the grid.
Oh, I have no... Go... 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4, 5, and away we go. Terrible.
Perry's got a lightning start.
Oh, huge wreck, huge wreck.
That's the front wing of a Ferrari. Is it Dan?
Yeah, Dan, it looks like they got sandwiched and his car got pushed way out into the wall.
Dan has right end plate damage. Matty Robbo is down to last. What happened to him?
I'm wondering if just going on those hard tires, their start was terrible and just got tangled up. I don't know if they tangled up with each other or what, but you have Don Ammo did take the position back from Perry, which rightfully so. Those softer tires will have an advantage early on as Dan Robo's taken a move down the other Ferrari of Dressa, and that's move done on the hard tires.
It doesn't look like there was any damage on the front wing of Matty Robbo's Haas. So
Yeah, very interesting. We can go down here. We have
Dan dropping all the way to the back. Will need to stop on lap 1
yep.
for a front wing change. Oh, massive slide from Sergey into turn 11. Sergey was sideways into turn 11. It was a hell of a drift.
Yeah, so if you're Don Ammo right now, you're on that soft tire, you want to pull that gap. You just need to get out of DRS and move along. As Ross is coming to the pits, Dan is also pitted. I mean, luckily for Matt Robo, he hasn't had to pit. I mean, he is on the harder compound. That strategy still can work. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
to
very
see it
lucky
happen.
for Matty that he didn't get any damage from those lap 1 incidents. He didn't get collected.
Jumped on board now with R-Bar. He's looking very racy with the back of the Tara Russell of Perry the dog down the long straight. Now DRS hasn't opened yet, so the advantage, the slipstream will help, but it makes it so much harder to get past somebody without that DRS. R-Bar fakes the move and just falls back into line, and Dressa all over the back of the Haas of Robo. Just fine. Dan Robo's doing a fantastic job on those hard tires early on.
And Dan will hope to, before his pit stop, build a gap enough so that he can pit onto probably the soft tyre and blitz past people in the last stint of this race.
Knowing him, he will most likely try that type of strategy, go from the hard to the soft tire. I just kind of have that feeling. So he may be going the long game, go to the soft tire at the end, make himself the quickest car on track. And depending on where he cycles out, it might work out very well for him to at least get back to P4. As Don Ammo has taken the fastest lap at 1:35.4 early on. Those times, I would assume, in this tier will plummet into the mid to low 144s. I've seen Jacob do 143s on the hards at the end of the race, so interested to see what happens there.
Sergey with an early penalty.
Yeah, penalties here will be huge. You just want to avoid them. The dirty air kind of forces you off track. You can keep them down. You can gain a lot of positions.
I find the track limits at France to be very odd. You can have 2 wheels on the track and sometimes still get warned, still get penalties. So
yeah, but there's also corners that you can have all 4 outside the white lines, and it just for whatever reason allows it.
Doesn't care exactly.
Fallon makes a move. Fallon in the other Williams. So we got a Williams 3-4 has moved up. He's past the Haas of Dan Robo and the Alpha of DTN, or it might have been the Ferrari of Dressa at that time.
Now, I wonder what happened to Dreiser there, because he was running P5.
I don't know if he made a
dropped
mistake.
Back. Doesn't look like he's got any damage.
No, I don't see any damage on any of those front cars, so I just wonder if Dan on the harder tires is able to hold them all up, and it's a possibility. I didn't see it. I caught it the last second, so.
Don Ammo's pulled a huge gap to Perry now. 2.1 seconds over 3 laps.
Yeah, honestly, I think you want that to be a bigger gap at this point. Being on those fresher softs, he probably would have wanted to pull out to 3-4 seconds within the first couple of laps. Because after lap 4 here, he's going to start struggling, and Perry and R-Bar will start pulling in the Renault of Don Ammo.
Yeah, as you said, the tyre wear on them soft tyres during a practice race where I was just practicing with Dan, the soft tyres were up at 60% wear by the end of the 6th lap. So that's just going to slow. That will slow Don Ammo down, and Perry will have the tyre advantage to gain back P1 that he had lost at the start.
Dressa's then gone around the outside of Dan Robo. Dan Robo's starting to struggle on the hard tires, which I would expect, but he will have an advantage once the medium tires start to fall off. So just a matter of how long does it take for the hard tire to really, when's that crossover point? It's not going to be anytime soon. Probably won't be for another 7-8 laps. So, and by that time you can almost take the hard or the medium tires off and just go to the hards. So I don't know. Very interesting strategy call.
Cookie makes a great point in the chat. He says Sergey doesn't look comfortable with the retirement in quali, then the drift, and then getting a penalty on the third lap. And usually Sergey is the calmest person on the grid.
Yeah, well, the problem is with a track like this, and I'm one of our counterparts, Thomas from last year in season 3, is stated in Tier 2 because everything is so close. It's almost like an F2 race. It's everybody's in DRS. It's a constant. You don't really get a chance to put some pace in until the pit stops start breaking things up. So it's going to make it way harder for him to get through traffic if everybody in front of him's got DRS. As we go on board with Sergey, he is now behind Two Spells up to P11 as everybody's favorite Lewis is up to P10. So pretty good for him due to the fact he did retire early on in qualifying.
Yeah, the big winner in this these opening laps is Lewis, up 7 places from where he started, and the only person not to move is actually Varamir, who started this race P13, has remained. But the big loser has to be Dan, who's down 11 places from his grid spot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Ferrari.
He did just get squeezed into the wall.
Yeah, nothing he could really do about it. I mean, I saw it in the background. He got squeezed right to the wall. It wasn't anything he did. As Robin is now the quickest car on track. The McLaren trying to make up for last week's race, which we all know he's a quick driver. And I always enjoy seeing Robin doing well. So, up 5 positions. Dan Robo's lost 5, but that's mainly because of the tire he's on. Not really anything of his own doing. It's just a strategy he decided to go with.
But obviously, that being on that hard tyre could prove an advantage towards the end of the race.
Yep.
When he moves on to his second stint.
Absolutely, as Robin's making a move around the outside. They've got Dressa and DTN. Just a DRS train. It is so close. And doing a good job on his soft tires, but his advantage is over. I mean, at this point, he's going to be kind of in the way to these guys that are on the faster tire now. And the Alpha lost it on the curb, and then it reset him to track. That's unfortunate. That wasn't anything he did. That the game reset him. So.
That will probably get looked at anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not sure
he'll
if
have
he got it on the stream, but
yeah, I caught it on stream. He'll have to send it in
evidence.
just to prove it. But to me, as quick as it was, there's no way he paused the game and hit reset. But he'll have to send it in just in case. Now Robin's all over the back of.
DTN is in.
Yeah, he took damage from that.
I didn't know if he took damage. So Varamir has finally gained a place from his grid spot.
He did go on the hard tires.
So
he's another one that will be quicker at the back end of this race. Speaking of that, I know you said Don Ammo, and I see as to why you said that. Perry has pulled in within DRS. Don Ammo's advantage is over. So this lap, highly recommend he comes in, puts the hard tire on.
His tires have gone off the cliff. At this point,
he's lost a full second this lap.
Down to 0.3 of a second.
Watch Perry, as Perry's got plenty of ERS.
If Don Ammo doesn't come in, then the pit straight is going to be his demise.
Oh, absolutely. I think he has to pit. I mean, just the fact that he's lost a second this lap proves that those tires are done.
And Perry is right in the gearbox, getting a little bit of understeer as I ride on board with him. That car just not going in the dirty air, and I believe Dynamo is coming in.
Dynamo has pitted. So that frees up the air for Perry to try to kind of open it up here. Dynamo should, on pace, probably get the undercut, but it should work out fine because he'll be on the harder old.
Hard tires are going on for Dynamo, so.
Jacob's pitted as well. I wonder what he's going to do.
And I wonder as well if Jacob had damage. Jacob going medium to soft, back to medium.
I think that might have been a glitch. He went from medium to hard.
I see soft tires, so.
Yeah, oh, and we have damage. Sergey and Two Spell have made contact. I don't know if that's damage. It's damage for the Toro Rosso of Sergey as he was starting to plug away at the lead pack anyways. Yeah, he's got left front end plate as Varamir's going to make a move. Ooh, Toro Rosso squeezes him.
Yeah, Sergey pushing on Varamir there.
Yeah, it almost looked like Sergey was going for a move on Two Spell and didn't really realize that the racing point of Varamir was there.
Yeah. But interesting that Sergey still wants a battle with his front end plate missing, his left end plate. But Varamir does eventually get past him.
Yeah, he's going to be struggling now, especially in these left cam corners without that end plate, so you'll see him. If I was Sergey, pit, change the wing, go on to the hard tires, just end the race.
Yeah, go for it.
And that's what he's doing.
No.
Decided to pit. Great idea. Less chances of losing time.
As I watch the battle for the lead, Arbar down, gets the gap down to 3/10.
And while we're doing that, the McLaren of Robin has just got past the Fallen before the DRS zone. I don't know. I probably would have waited. I know he's under attack from Dressa, but I probably would have waited unless you think that you can run away from the Fallen. Well, he's got a huge ERS advantage, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Robin will look to gain. Perry defending aggressively, getting his elbows out. It's firm but fair defending from Perry as they go through the chicane. So Robin, Perry will keep it at least until the pit straight.
Yeah, Arbar's going to the inside. He's going to make a move. It's a risky move, but it can be done.
Saw KV pull it off twice yesterday in the closing stages.
Yeah, brilliant moves around the outside into that corner.
Which gained him driver of the day.
Oh yeah, he just had a great race. Nice to see from KV as he was able to pull off some of those moves that not a whole lot of guys might have the cojones to even try. Truthfully, I mean it's a nice overtake. It makes you feel good when you do it. These guys are just so close. It is literally like F2.
It's shaping up to be a great race.
I mean, and the guys on the hard tire, like Dan Robo has put himself in a fantastic spot, just being able to stay with these guys. Yeah, he lost some positions, but he's moved up since then, and now it's getting to that point where his tires might end up being the quicker tire.
And he should have the pace, as I say, on the softs at the end to scythe through the field and gain some positions back after he pits. I believe only 6 drivers have pit so far, so from Dynamo down have all stopped.
Yes.
So.
And Arbar just made a move for the lead, and then Perry is fighting him back now. He's on the inside.
Yeah, very risky move from Perry, forces Arbar out wide.
He squeezes him. Arbar goes switchback. Ooh, that's interesting track limit. Well, he backed out of it.
Interesting defense from Perry to take the racing line while Arbar is there. So Arbar may get a warning for that. Probably should get a warning for that.
As the Fallen has fallen into the pits. I meant to say he's going into the pits, but just kind of came out that way. As the Williams team is actually having a fantastic race. This might be out of... I'm trying to think of the last time the Williams in Contest of Speed were up near the front, and my brain isn't going to work like that because I can't remember.
I believe out of the 10 drivers in the European tier across both races now, that only 2 have finished a race.
The Williams?
And for Williams, and I believe both times it was Dan Hilton in tier 3.
Get on, Dan.
So,
if I was Arbar now, there's no point in really fighting it. Kind of save up some ERS, just kind of hang on. Same with Perry. I mean, Perry, they're both very similar on ERS and very low on ERS. They're under 30%. I don't know. Oh yeah, Jacob did go to the soft tire, so I don't know what Jacob did.
Possibly medium to soft, then back to medium. Like I say, it might not be the most effective strategy, but
find out.
We shall see.
It's really hard to say. As close as everything is, it might end up working out if he can pick up some more positions on the soft tire. The problem is we just know that the soft just doesn't last here. So.
Yeah, already 3 laps on those softs. I think he's not going to be gaining too much to Don Ammo anymore, and he may drop back and lose some time to the Fallen as well. So, very interesting strategy call from Jacob. But his teammate flying high in 3rd place, so shall see how the day.
Perry will be pitting this lap.
Well,
Arbar's pitting this lap because he's got the little tool thing up. So.
Yeah, he has the wrench. So, but we shall see. Perry might try to dummy Arbar into the pits, because Arbar makes a move and passes Perry into the chicane. Perry not really defending against Arbar.
Perry's kind of low on ERS. Arbar's saved up some, but the problem is you're going to want to save it so when you come out you can push with something.
Which is what Perry's doing, sitting in 1 ERS just behind, sticking behind Arbar.
And all this battling just kind of looked at Robin. Robin's pulled back within 1.4 of these front 2. So he's on for a really good race. It's going to be really interesting the second half of this race. I would imagine, like Don Ammo, he's going to get the undercut, but he should be able
Perry
to get caught.
And Arbar come in. Arbar gets 5 seconds for speeding. Perry also locked up as he went into the pit lane. So the top 5 have all pitted, which leaves Dan Robbo to inherit the lead in that Haas. Lewis staying out, as well as 2 spell on the medium tyres.
And then Varmir on the hard tyre as well in P4.
I did think, due to a glitch, that Perry had got past Arbar in the pit stops, but obviously not, as they both re-emerge onto the track.
Perry just comes out right behind the McLaren of Jacob.
And only 7 or 5/10 of a second now behind Don Ammo.
I was just about to say that Arbar lost or gained a bunch of time on Perry in the pits, but that's really, it's because of the speeding by Arbar. It doesn't even help.
So and it also looked like Perry could have got a speeding penalty, however, managed to get it slowed down.
Yeah, it was very quick. I saw Crowan got a penalty. There was a couple guys that got speeding penalties coming in, so it'll be hard to tell. And actually, looking at it, Don Ammo did get an undercut, essentially, but it's not going to be worth anything. Perry should be able to get the move done here, eventually, just being on fresher tires.
So Arbar, Dracer and Crowan all got 5-second time penalties for speeding in the pit lane.
2 spell, and the Red Bull has now decided to pit for his hard tires. As everybody's favorite Lewis has decided to carry on.
Yeah, carrying on those mediums, very bold. Possibly trying to copy Sygate's strategy from last night.
Yeah, he very, very much so could be trying that.
But damn, Robbo is going to be able to pull away from Lewis. There's 2 spell drops to P13 with that pit stop.
Sorry about that. I had to take a second and go quiet the dogs that were barking. Perry's got by Dynamo. Jacob's in between Arbar and Perry. Arbar's going to want to try to open this gap as much as he possibly can, but unfortunately for Arbar, he's stuck in a train and he's going down the inside and he's past Matt. Jacob sideways. That doesn't do those soft tires any justice. If I was him, it might be time to just get off of them. I don't
dive into the pits for more medium tires.
Yeah, because you could definitely go to the medium tire now and end the race on it.
Yeah, as Lewis has shown, still battling in P2 on 14 lap old mediums. So but Jacob decides to keep going. Matty Robbo back up to P6, what will be P5.
Yeah, but he's going to have to pit again, so... Well, he's going to have to pit for the first time.
Yeah.
And I would imagine he would just fall to the back. Just because of how close, and Perry picks up his first... believe it's Perry's first 3-second penalty.
It is Perry's first 3-second penalty, so...
I can't believe... Honestly, I was in this tier last year, and I knew it was close. But watching it from this point of view... I never realized how close it really was. This is absolutely amazing how close these guys are.
Yeah, the X tier 3 of Racer, Perry, and well, normally Sergey, of and Dracer, in fact, have really stepped up the game from last season to match the tier 2 pace.
Robin's making a move around the Renault of Dynamo. He's got the move done. Dynamo will be slower than these guys that are on the fresher tires. It's just the strategy he decided to go with. I knew his pace.
Just watching Jacob should be seeing Jacob pull into the pits.
Yeah,
as Dan and Varamir both pit. Dan pits from the lead. I assume this is going to be medium tyres going on both the Haas and the Racing Point, and it is medium tyres on both cars.
Let's see how far they fall down the grid. I can't believe Jacob's still out on 8-lap softs.
Perry should be able to take that position easily. As Matty gains another time penalty. So
effectively, the podium, as of right now, Arbar is leading this race. Perry the dog and Robin will inherit 1, 2, and 3. And then time penalties will have to play itself out after that. But Jacob and Lewis both are going to have to pit again. Lewis is playing the long game. And at this point, he's got to be going to the soft tire. I mean, he's been out there way too long on the medium to think that's not what he's trying.
I believe Perry has a penalty and a warning towards his second penalty. Robin has 1 warning, and Arbar has that 5-second time penalty.
I'll tell you what, this McLaren is absolutely flying with Robin. He just overtook Perry. He just made a little bit of mistake, went deep, but he's got the inside line into this corner, and move done is on Perry. It's just a matter of can he pull away from him. Great to see the McLaren driver doing as well as he is tonight.
Jacob is in. Not really a surprise, but he should not lose tyre advantage to the hard tyre runners at any point during this stint. So,
No, but it's just going to matter. I mean, it's going to make a huge difference as to how far he falls down and how much time he can really gain back. Dan Robo in the fall-in, or Dan just goes around the outside of Dan on those as the fall-in on those fresher soft or medium tires. I guess softer compound. He's in a good spot being on the medium tire. He should be able to at least get up to P4, even potentially P3 on the medium tire. So it's going to matter of what is his pace on that tire.
Got Rosa and Cookie in the chat. Tier 3 McLaren cheering on their overall teammates.
Gotta love it.
Robin and Jacob. Love to see the inter-tier love between teams.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in a weird spot as I do race for Ferrari in the Americas tier, and I race for Alpha in tier 1. So I'm scoring points for both teams. I don't know how that's going to work. Oh, and Lewis speeds into the pits. What happened is Perry spun off. I don't just missed that. He's got huge damage to the front of that car. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Perry. I'm not sure what happened. Lewis has decided, can you go 9 laps? Oh, he's going to try it. Gone to the soft tire. He'll have an advantage for a little while, but that tire will fall off.
And it's now we are starting to see the size of Lewis's cojones. Soft tires to the end. The remaining 10 laps. So
very curious as to what happened to Perry to cause the incident of him spinning off. That'll be something that we'll figure out after the race. Now that Don Ammo has inherited P3, Robin's gone to P2, but he's all over the back of the Williams of Arbar, gone down the inside. And
Robin takes the lead of this race.
Done.
But can he make the move stick?
Yeah, that's move done. Arbar didn't even really defend it. Arbar gets a better exit than Robin.
But let's just remember, Arbar does have that 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's just worth not fighting it. Kind of hang on. Oh, Dressa and Dan Robo make a little bit of contact. The three of those guys, Verimir, Dressa, and Dan Robo, were all very close.
And,
great recovery drive from Verimir.
The McLaren's in the chat celebrating that move wildly. And Rosa has said, Mitch, you should support McLaren.
I should support. Well, I mean, I race for 2 different teams, so at this point, it doesn't. I support everybody in the league. That's been my mindset for a very long time.
That's fair enough.
So Dan Robo's gonna.
Can't really fault that.
Oh, he picks up a 3-second. And these penalties are gonna be huge at the end of this race.
I will check Don Ammo's penalties. Don Ammo has 1 warning and that's it.
For him, he was worried about that, so...
Cookie says, no, you don't support everyone, you support McLaren.
Russell's either lost it or somebody moved him off the racing line, but... saying that, he's now dropped 1 position, 2 positions, and potentially a 3rd one to Lewis here.
I think it will be a 3rd.
Lewis is making a move down the inside. And just better ability to brake when those softer tires. He's up to P8.
But the question will be, how long will these softs last? How much time is Lewis going to lose at the end of this race?
Yeah, he'll have an advantage probably 4 or 5 laps, but after that, it's going to fall off. I mean, it could be different at the end of the race, lighter car, but I really just don't know if they're really going to be that much of an advantage after 5 laps.
And I think Don Ammo has been very smart there to not fight with Dan Robbo.
Trying to keep it close.
I believe he knows that Dan Robbo has that 3-second time penalty now.
Lewis has now gotten past the Alpha of Crowan. He should easily be able to get to the back of the Fallen. Don't know how much time he'll make up after that. It'll be very interesting.
So it will be 7 laps to go when Robin comes across the line.
Dynamo kind of does the same thing with Vermeer, just kind of let Vermeer through. Try to just hang on, use those guys. Arbar's got the 5-second penalty. It's just going to be these other guys get massive penalties as well.
I believe Vermeer has 1 penalty and he's 1 warning off his second. So it's sad to see Dan from P5 down to P15.
Yeah, he won't be happy with this race, and he just needs to catch a break. He's a good driver. It just seems to be everything that tends to happen to him lately, since last season as well. It's just nothing of his own doing. It's other people's faults for the incidents that he ends up getting caught up into.
It was certainly very unfortunate.
Falling goes super defensive on the Mercedes of Lewis, but the grip of the Mercedes is going to be able to kind of squeeze him out.
Cookie making another very good point. Robin is rapid on the hards and getting away from not only Arbar but Dan Robbo as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Dan Robbo on the quicker tyre by, I'd say, a long shot.
Oh yeah, he's definitely Dan Robbo should be a lot quicker right now in the on the medium tire. Leader, if that starts to fall, it doesn't seem to be. So, I mean, it's looking like Robin's on for a win here. And then the questions after that for the rest of the podium is going to be whatever happens on penalties, I think.
Because Robin at the minute, Arbar will drop back to P5 on penalties. Dynamo will get promoted to P2, as Dan Robbo and Vermeer both have penalties. So, and yes, Rosa, you did bottle Australia, so I do agree with Cookie.
Back to the regular interval here is Vermeer's now pulled up to the back of the Haas of Dan Robbo. Would expect him to be able to get the move done down the long straight.
Obviously, the DRS is a massive advantage down that long back straight. So if Vermeer can keep it within 5/10 going through here, then should be able to get the move done into the chicane.
Right on board when he is getting closer. Is he going to make the move? Looks like he's going to try.
He swoops around. Dan Robbo's Haas, and now with the penalty situation how it is, Vermeer will have to be careful on 2 warnings towards his next penalty. I believe, Dan Robbo, only the 1 penalty and no warnings. So
it's going to be hard though for Don Amos to be able to stay with these guys for another
on his
5 laps. It's going to be hard for him to stay
on those worn tyres. Should be interesting to see how this plays out. 5 laps to go now, so
they are starting to take a little bit of time out of Arbar, but don't know if it's going to be. I mean, at this point, I don't know if it'll be enough at the end. Rowan had a very interesting corner there. I kind of caught it the last second. Well, these are the two closest on track at the moment, is the Haas of Dan Robo and Vermeer. And I just wonder if they're just kind of trying to work together to pull themselves closer to that Williams. That's what it looked like to me there with Dan Robo. He just kind of put the car in lean, or put the car down to 0 ERS to try to save.
He will be going for this position back if he knows Varamir has the same penalties as him. If Dan
absolutely
knows the penalty situation, then he will need to go for this, but I'm not sure he wants to risk his good points haul for just to try and get this position back.
Well, as long as you get it done safely and the car in front of you is not DRS, it's a pretty easy move done if you can get within, close enough. So the half-second mark or a little bit less, it makes the move way easier down the long straight. Yeah, just looking now, Lewis on the soft tires, it's, he was gaining massively, and now he's kind of even out. But I think if you ask Lewis, hey, you're finishing P6 today at France, would you take that? He would absolutely be ecstatic.
Especially after crashing out during qualifying.
Yeah, that,
this is
after
an
the poor race
drive from Lewis.
Yeah, having the poor race at Australia, only being able to, of no fault of his own, had nowhere to go on track, and ended up wrecking out on lap 1 to turn 2 with a car sideways on track. So I think he would actually, asking him, he would probably be really happy with a P6 finish if he can hold on. Jacobs now all over the back of Two Spell for the points. Should be moved done. How much Two Spell's gonna fight back?
Two Spell takes a massive chunk out of the track there. I'm not sure what that was. Huge chunk taken out of the track.
Could have been the dirty air. I saw Sergey do the same thing. So the only one that took the car the right way was Jacobs. So it could have been just the dirty air, kind of messing with him. Jacobs 1.2 off, and he'll catch these guys in front of him just going off Jacobs' pace. And he's got a line of P9, P8, and P7 just right in front of him.
So, and obviously Jacob with the tyre advantage. Those mediums not yet wearing enough for it to be beneficial to be on the hard tyre.
Right.
So. There's a yellow in sector 3. Is that Perry's out? But
Perry must have just DNF'd.
I think he just retired in the pits. I think that was in the pit lane.
As Vermeer just got past Arbar. I caught the last part of that. Ressa and the Fallen are battling out here for P7. Fantastic racing everywhere. Everybody's just so close, it seems to be. Sector 1.
At the moment, Arbar would only drop behind Dan Robbo. Dan Robbo has escaped the penalty range of Don Ammo. So, should be an interesting last 2 laps.
Sure as to why we have a yellow in Sector 1?
No, I didn't see anything.
Jacob's trying to make a move on the Alpha of Crowan into turn 1.
Oh, the Fallen.
Now, did he lose it in turn 1?
I'd love to be able to tell you where that stricken car is.
Turn 2 as DTN
on the left side of the track, yeah.
Very interesting how you could have gotten out there unless you hit the curb and just overcorrected the car and it snapped him loose.
Yeah, couldn't get control back of the car. But Robin has taken control of this race, and Dan takes the fastest lap point away from anyone who would have had it in the top 10. So
It's closing in now on the back of the Ferrari. The dresser is just left the session, so he must have just lagged out.
yeah. Oh, please no, two spell. Don't do it.
Shouldn't make a difference because we don't have a full grid. It seems to be the only time it does it. And we'll stay on board now with Robin until I see something interesting in the background, which we do have Arbar pulling in, but he is still kind of a bit back.
Yeah, Robin has no penalties matrix as well, so.
Hey, you mean Verimir? Or
Matrix was asking in the chat.
oh,
so.
Matrix. I'm sorry. I was like, Matrix isn't in this race. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, Robin's had a fantastic race. I could tell his pace just on the medium tire when the other guys were battling, how he was able to just pull his way closer. He'll be really very pleased with this race.
And it is. And it is interesting that P12 and P13 are currently 1-2 in this race. From P12 and P13 on the grid. That's very impressive from.
Just comes to show that the wet pace didn't really mean a whole lot. Well, I mean, to be fair, Verimir messed up his lap, so.
Yeah.
Arbar runs a little bit wide. Dan Robo is pulling into the back of that.
You might want to switch to Robin.
Yep, absolutely. We'll catch Robin as he crosses the start-finish line as he goes into the last corner, down the front straight for the last time. Front straight, I'll get rinsed for that. As Robin wins the France Grand Prix, Verimir P2, Dan Robo P2, Verimir P3. Arbar drops back to P4 because of the unserved penalty.
Donamo remains P5.
Somehow.
Jacob on a very unusual strategy P6, and Crowan gets Racer on penalties. Dracer and Sergei scoring after those incidents is a nice surprise. So
that's unfortunate for Two Spell. The time he probably lost lagging out cost him a point.
And I think the driver of the day is going to be Robin.
Oh, 100%. In my opinion. I mean, we'll leave it up to the chat to vote for that.
The chat is saying Robin. So
Robin 100% is my driver of the day. He had a fantastic race today.
Yeah, mine too. So it'll be nice for me to tell him that in the interviews.
Yeah, what time is it? Okay, I'm good to give. I will just have to make sure because I do have to leave relatively soon, but we have plenty of time for interviews.
KV says Robin or Varamir.
Yeah, I think just on the purpose that Robin won the race, stayed clean the whole race. That's my driver of the day.
P12 as well, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Don Ammo and Robin and Two Spell were the only clean ones from what I can tell. I will send them invites, so sorry about the bouncing screen. Oh, go ahead. If you have it, go. Okay. Robin. Fairmere, and I do not. All the people I don't have a friend.
She says Two Spell was robbed of P6 by the internet.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. The finishing three, it was Robin, Dan, and then Veramir.
Evening.
Hello, guys. Just make sure your stuff's set to share
Hello,
as
hello.
always. I'm sure most of it is, so.
Yeah.
Waiting on Real Our Life. Well, while we wait for him, I'll just start with P3. Veramir, you started your race today on the harder compound. Was just the reverse strategy what you wanted to do because the way the qualifying went? We did see that your last lap qualifying, you kind of made a mistake, lost the rear end of the car. So, I mean, was that just a better strategy for you, or are you just trying to see, you know, if you could keep it close, that you would have the pace advantage at the end of this race?
Well, yeah, I thought the hard tyre then going on to the mediums, obviously starting from where I was, because everyone would be battling, I think making moves would have been quite difficult. But the hard tyre just felt absolutely tragic. It was just awful. So yeah, I regretted that because, I don't know, I had a bit of a crap race, to be honest.
I mean, for a crap race, you finishing P3, that's... I mean, compared to what your pace is, I know you probably could have been up there for the victory, but a podium out of it can't be too bad.
Even at the end, yeah, I am happy with the result, I suppose. But even at the end, I just felt, I don't know, I just felt shit on the medium tyre. Oh, sorry, I felt really bad on the medium tyre. But yeah, it was a good race. I got to apologise to Dresser Bassin because I did nudge him in the back and he spun out. So if he wants my footage, I'll send it to him, but yeah, I'll have to apologise to Dresser. And then me and Sergey had a spin as well, but I don't know if you caught it on stream, but we just drifted the entire part of Sector 3.
We did. Was that with Sergey? Because I believe we did catch that on stream.
Yeah, so I was overtaking his inside, and then he turned in a bit early, and we both just drifted, it was Tokyo Drift, it was class.
Varamir, I have a request from Lewis. He says stop swearing because he can't handle it.
Well, you can't handle anything, he's soft. But, yeah, it's a good race. Well done to Real Our Life as well. Brilliant race.
Yeah, it was... has he joined the party? I don't think he has yet.
And also Varamir, Tracer says no worries, it happens. So
yeah, sorry, dude.
Well, congratulations on the P3. Yeah, I mean, from where you started, that's a pretty decent result, I would have to say. But moving on to probably somebody that had one of the more interesting races. Dan.
As always.
That was... At first I was like, okay, brilliant idea if you can keep it close, and then you just start falling down the grid, every lap you were losing a position on the hard tire. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. And in the end, obviously it did, but yeah, tell us what happened, because that was interesting.
Overestimated the performance of the hard tyre, if I'm honest. They just didn't work at all. As Varamir said before, they did feel not particularly good. I just kept on falling back. But managed to get back through the field after I put on mediums pretty well, so I didn't lose too much time getting through the field. And then got very, very lucky at the end, having less penalties than people in front of me.
Yeah, hey. One of those tracks where penalties here are huge. You can gain a ton of positions, or you can do what unfortunately happened to Arbar in the Williams. The speeding penalty just absolutely destroyed his race. He went from a podium position to P6, I believe, so...
Yeah, well, because I was obviously chasing them behind, and it just said, I kept on asking Jeff if they had any penalties, and he said no, they haven't got any. And then at the end it popped up saying I was up in P2. I was like, oh. Because to be honest, I didn't deserve a podium finish today, if I'm honest.
Yeah, fair enough. I've got barking wiener dogs, sorry. Um, yeah, I wished Robin would have been able to join us, as
Yeah,
he was
I believe
voted-
Thomas says his headset's broke, so...
fair play. Well, he was voted the driver of the day. His pace today was above and beyond most of the guys. Obviously, it's hard to compare it to your guys' pace, as you guys went complete reverse strategy. Yeah, qualifying was extremely interesting. I wasn't expecting a full wet session, so that definitely livened up the race, I believe. And as much as I told Verimir earlier this week how much I would like to be involved in the Tier 2 race this week because of how close things seem to be, after watching that, I'm so glad I'm not a part of that. As it looked like F2 most of the race. Everybody just trains. Just trains
you would have
everywhere.
won, Mitch.
I don't know about all that, but...
You would have been away with it on penalties because you don't get any.
No, that's true. That is true. But well, neither did Robin, and Robin probably had better quick pace than I did. But on that note, I'm going to wrap up. I do have to end the stream here. Tomorrow night, Tier 1, same time as at 10 p.m. UK. And then, if anybody really wants to watch us race on Thursday night, we race at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, which I believe is 2 a.m. UK.
2 a.m. 2 a.m.
Or you just do what most of the guys do in the league and just watch it on YouTube once we put it over there. But yeah, that will be Tier 1 tomorrow. I will be a part of that. I expect to be somewhere midfield to the back, but it shall be fun. And it there.